We are back with another knivesdeal.com knife. This one's actually pretty sweet. Now, a bunch of people said you don't have any with serrated blades or anything like that. Now, here's one that actually has a you know, kind of a cutter to it. It's actually pretty cool. And then obviously on the bottom, it has a seatbelt cover will release. And it also has a window punch out. So definitely check them out. Again, knivesdeal.com for 10% off. Use promo code Send It Steve. Let's roll the footage from today. Good morning, guys, and welcome back to the channel. All right, guys, so I'm gonna actually show you how I went ahead and bled this out, because I went ahead and looked at my footage and I absolutely have zero footage. So number one thing that I did was I had a jug sitting here. I do have some of this footage up there, as you'll see, like bubbles coming out of this when it's hooked up. But I went ahead, attached it up here to the hood as kind of like an IV setup. Obviously we get a rubber hose. And here is actually the big thing, which you can make at home. Now, you don't need a self-bleeder or anything like that. You can actually make this. All you will need to do, call your local dealer, and they will actually have a banjo bolt. Most of them should have it in stock. It's actually for your high-pressure oil. It's actually for your high-pressure fuel line. So most of them will actually have that in stock, and obviously it has the new washers with it. As you can tell, I have the old washers still on here. Now, in order to make this, basically what I did was I drilled out 30 hole in the top, and then I went ahead, I have a thread tap, so I went and thread tapped an 1/8 inch thread tap into here. So now I will have this for multiple uses in case this ever happens again, which I highly doubt it will, but if it does, we will be able to bleed this out. Now, obviously you can tell that goes on there. Then obviously when you crank the key forward, you don't actually try to start the truck. You just have the key forward enough to get, you know, the pressure coming up through, and it will then, you know, backfeed the fuel and the air bubbles up into your container here. So I will start that footage now. The other thing I went ahead and did while I was at it was I went ahead and put new fuel filters in up here and down on the bottom. As you can tell over here, my fuel filter was actually in really bad shape. I think I posted a picture of it on Instagram. If you're not following me, definitely head over there and follow it. It's _Steve. But this filter has definitely seen its better days. Now, this is a filter that was in, you know, this unit here. So obviously we do have a new filter in the new unit, everything like that, but we are good to go. So basically, I think I have a few more things of footage of me bleeding this out. I'll go ahead and post them in right now, and then I'll obviously come back to you and finish talking to you about the truck. This is obviously part of the bleeding here. Sorry about any wind noise. As you can tell, I rolled the key forward, and you can definitely now see all of the bubbles coming out of that fitting. Oh, we are going to overflow a little bit as it is pushing fuel up through. I gotta grab a container. All right, as you can tell, there's kind of no more bubbles. It went ahead and pushed out a good amount of fluid up through. I've done it about 6 or 7 times here. I also went ahead and pushed the bleeder here to go ahead and relieve some that's kind of weird that the camera does that, but to kind of relieve some air bubbles and things like that. So now it's time to take this out here and go ahead and put the self bleeder back, or the actual banjo bolt that goes here in, and you should be good to go. Now hopefully we got all the air out of it and things like that. Pretty much gonna hope for the best. So let me go ahead and get that banjo bolt tossed in there, and we should be good to go. All right, so I'm not sure how well you guys can see this, but the fuel filter is absolutely destroyed. I went ahead, and when I pulled this out underneath of the truck over there, basically, you know, a little bit of water came out with it, and I actually went ahead and located the actual problem. So I'm going to pause real quick, and I'm going to go ahead and place it on the screen as of right now. All right, so I think I have all of the air out of this system. Gonna go ahead and actually see if we can't get it to fire up now. Gonna go ahead and actually see if we can't get it to fire up now. Yes, boys. She is alive, boys. She is alive. I'm gonna let her idle here for a little bit and hope everything's good. Obviously there's no crazy smoke or anything coming out of her. I think we are good to go. Back in action. Oh, what a stressful event, to say the least. I can honestly say that I've never seen that. That is absolutely insane that it literally just broke out like that. Now, unless while we were four-wheeling, a rock hit up there, but this isn't muddy, as you can tell. Like, there's no mud or anything on it, so who knows? I really have no idea how that broke like that or anything, but it is what it is. She's back up and running so far, no leaks. Just give her some time here to run. I'm gonna let her run for probably a half hour here and hope for the best, get everything cleaned up and take her for a spin. Alrighty, guys, so as you can tell, we do have the truck fixed. It is actually turned around, as I drove it pretty much all day today, which today is Thursday. I did have it finished up on Wednesday actually, and drove it through the evening Wednesday, and then I drove it through the day today. I actually drove it 40 miles out to Carlisle and back to the swap meet and everything like that. A buddy of mine wanted to go and look for some things for his car, so we went. But the truck ran absolutely phenomenal. But I wanted to go in here and show you guys what actually failed on the truck. Now, if you can see here, right here on the bottom one, how it is not ovaled out and it actually looks super corroded. You can actually even see the giant hole on the side over here. That is not supposed to be there. That is actually supposed to be like this. Now, when I thought it was an O-ring that was leaking, this actually sits in there and should seal when this valve here, which is actually the water separator, that sits down on there. However, I kept getting a leak, and underneath the truck, I couldn't see that portion right there that is actually broken off. So when you pull this back out, you can actually see straight into the daylight. Let me pop this up and out here too. You can actually see straight through that. You see how you can see through? There's a little pinhole there. That's actually not supposed to happen. So that is actually what was causing our leak. And then you can see if I put my finger over the hole and roll everything forward, the fuel just runs out of the bowl there. So basically, long story short, that is actually what was causing the issue and everything. So I went ahead and got on eBay and got one sent over, as I do have an eBay account. It was only a couple $100. So we got a new fuel filter and everything tossed in it. Obviously, you can tell this fuel separator was disgusting, and I had no idea it was this bad. So it probably hasn't been changed in a while. But we went ahead and put a new filter in it. We put a new unit and everything like that, and the truck is actually back up and running 100%. So I can go over here. I'll start real quick so you guys can have a little sound comparison and things like that, and we'll go from there. All right, now some of the tools that you will need to go ahead and replace this unit is very simple. You can get these at any, Harbor Freight or, Craftsman store, Sears, they probably have it. But you need a fuel line disconnect. So that is actually for the fuel lines that are on the top side here. And there's actually a 13 mil. These actually go through the frame under the truck, and you just take them off. And this unit pretty much just pops right out. Now, they do sell this with or without the harness. I was able to get a unit that already had the harness attached, so I just left it attached. It's simple to unplug one, or it's simple to unplug both of these. Not a big deal, but it's definitely a super easy thing to do. If you also want to change your fuel filters while you're at it, both the upper and lower one is a 36 millimeter socket. Simple stuff. You can definitely make this stuff by yourself. The only other thing that I made was, like I said, that banjo bolt, and that was, I don't even know what I did with it. But like I said, the only other thing that you need is, you know, I had an 11/32 socket, I had an 1/8 inch tap, and then this fitting here, which I have a whole drawer full of fittings and things like that, obviously from when the Corvette was boosted. You just have stuff like that laying around. So it was, you know, easy, cheap fix. I tried to, you know, homemade a remedy kind of to fix it, but I didn't know that that bottom piece was broken like you seen earlier in the video. But it is what it is. We are back up and running, and I'm thankful that it was, I don't want to say a cheap and easy fix, but it was something that I could do by myself and I didn't have to take it to a dealership or anything like that. So sort of the other thing I did too was I got a fuel pressure gauge and I hooked it up on there, so I let some of the bubbles come out too while it was running. Obviously you fill the bucket up there with some fluid and you're good to go. Obviously you fill the bucket up there with some fuel and just kind of leave this one end on, and then this other one you screw into the fitting on the engine. So the little bubbles will bubble out through. You'll see it will actually be something cool. I think I have footage of that. I'll go ahead and post that in now also. All right guys, so there you have it. If you like the content, we do have the Power Stroke up and running, and if you guys are following me on Instagram, I did kind of post that picture of the blown up 6.4 engine and things like that on there. It's kind of, I know, kind of jerky of me, but that is actually a buddy of mine's truck who his dad actually buys and sells 6.4s and 6.0s and 6.7s. So he actually just bought a truck with a blown engine, and I was over there talking to him about possibly, let me know what you guys think. I was over there talking to him about doing an 11 up front end conversion on this truck, because obviously we know I want to get rid of the chrome and everything like that. So we could possibly, guys, I'm not saying I'm going to do it, but we might be doing the front end conversion of a 2011 and newer Ford F450. So again guys, if you like the content, please go ahead and smash that like button, please subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next upload. Take care and have a great one, guys. I'm glad she's back.